Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always glad to be here. Always glad to have you here. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the chat with VV Nation and let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Man, oh man, the market today is just doing what it does. It's doing what it do. Man, oh man. So we're gonna just roll with the punches, roll with the flow. I've got something a little different that I want to do today, and it's going to be a precursor to the video that we're going to put out tomorrow as the 6 p.m. video on YouTube. It's going to be a precursor to that. Hold on, let me move this over. So I've got both my YouTube chat and my Facebook chat as well. So man. Natasha says, wow, first time here. Glad to have you here, Natasha. Glad to have you here. Hopefully it'll be a good thing for you. How many people in here are relatively new to the market, like a month or less? How many of you are new to the market, like a month or less? Type a me in the room. All right, so I'm doing that. No, you're not, Mark. And you typed in the wrong thing. You didn't even let me finish. Type a me in the room. And I'm doing that for the purposes of, when people start first getting into the market and if they start losing money, they get discouraged. All right, they get discouraged. And I want to approach that today and talk a little bit about that. And for the people who've been with us for a while or been in the market for a while, I got some things that I want you to think about today in regards to what's in the market. All right, so everybody who is typing me, I got something for you today. All right, I'm going to do Trending Thursday just a tad bit different today. So you want to make sure that you stick to the end. I think I got something for everybody, and I'm going to try to include everybody as best I can today. So you definitely want to stay to the end of today's presentation. All right. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you'll be alerted to when new live streams or videos come out. I want you, if you like what you see today, hit today. If you like what you see today, hit the like button. I like to try to have at least 100 likes before we leave, before the day is done. So hit the like button, especially if it was worth your time to be here. And bigly, everybody take a second right now and share this live link with people on your social circles. Folks, between Joey and I and Patrick, we put a lot of effort into our videos. And then a lot of times I look at the views and I'm like, man, why are not more people looking at the content that we give? We're a lot different than a lot of other people out there. Share this link, folks. Share this link. We don't pump any stocks. We talk about what's real. We talk about what the market is all about, and we roll with the flow of the market. Eton, glad to always have you here as you're here. All right. Goldcross says what? Cheap scotch. No, that's not what you want to do. I am not encouraging drinking. No, I'm going to say that. I'm not encouraging that. There's a lot of the ways to get around all of that, and I'm going to help you with that today. All right, let's get into our news. What's going on in the news? Mortgage rates top 6% for the first time since the financial crisis. What does that mean? Less people are going to be buying homes. What does that mean? We're in a shrinking economy. What does that mean? The Fed shouldn't still be raising interest rates to a shrinking economy, but inflation is so far out of hand that he's still continuing to raising rates and at a hawkish in a hawkish pace. Bed Bath & Beyond is closing about 150 stores. What does that mean? People are getting laid off. All right, people are getting, Sonny really said weed is better anyway? Sigh. What kind of people do I have in here, Joey? They're talking about scotch and weed. Y'all, no, that's not the kind of program I want to promote. Natasha says,
good company. You got good company here.
I got good company here. Natasha says, I actually don't have a clue of what's going on. I inherited a few stocks and I was told never to sell. I'm here to listen and learn, but this is hard for me to understand. I got you. You know something, Natasha? If you look on our channel, I've got a video series on our channel called Stock Market for Beginners. All right. And it takes you through a better understanding of what the stock market is all about, what a stock is, how all that stuff. It is a really good series for those of you who are brand new to the market. It's called Stock Market for Beginners, and it's a really good series. I think will help you out, all right? And they are looking for a CFO, Roger. The CFO committed suicide, but there was a lot of other stuff behind it. So just putting that out there. But layoffs, the whole part of it, a lot of people think we're in a recession. I'm one of those people who think we're in a recession. The only thing that's keeping us for a full-blown recession is that employment is still at lows. It's still at lows. In a real true recession, unemployment would be high, but we're not in that situation yet. But more and more companies are starting to lay off people. Another story, Kroger, Dollar General, BJ's, wholesale stocks see gains amid inflation. That means people are looking to go other places to buy their food at a lot less price. And again, you're going to keep hearing me say the same thing over again. It's all about the bang for the buck. They're looking for, it comes down to food to get the biggest bang for their buck. And stocks that are moving today, which AMTD, we looked at that today in the Jockey Club. We're in AMTD in the Jockey Club, but we didn't get into HKD, which is up a lot between yesterday and today. Store Capital jumped 20%. Win. How about the gambling people or Vegas stocks up 9% today. ChargePoint, a lot of money from the infrastructure bill is going out to the individual states to build up the infrastructure for electric vehicle charging. 9% jump there. QuantumScape jumped up 9%. Fisker, another EV company, jumped up 8% because it's got a buy rating from somebody, from Needham. Humana up 8.2%. Roku up 7%. Melco Resorts and Entertainment up 7%. And Netflix gained 4.5% after Evercore upgraded the stock in line to outperform and raise its price target from 245 to 300. So those are some stocks that were on the rise today. Tesla may hit 450 by December. Never know. That stock is going to be in my video tomorrow, Police SWAT. You definitely want to be able to check that out. Tomorrow's video is really going to be an eye-opening video about how to manage your stocks in trying times like today. Today's alert was managing stocks in trying times. How many of you feel that it's tough for you right now to manage your stocks in what we're going through right now? Type a 1 in the room if you feel that it's a tough going to manage your current stocks right now. And if you're fine and dandy and you're doing great in your stocks, type a 2. Because those people who are typing a 1, I'm here for you today in Trending Thursday. And then tomorrow's video is really going to hone in on how to manage your stocks in trying times and how you should look at managing stocks. So I've got some people who do have 2s, and that's fine. Those are the people who have the 2s, absolutely okay. Do it. You got the 2s, you're doing it. By all means, that's okay. But if you notice in the chat, there's more people that typed a 1 than typing a 2. And again, I think that between today's Trending Thursday and tomorrow's 6 p.m. video, I'm going to give you more insight on how to manage your stocks. JD, I talk to you a lot on Twitter, my friend. Thank you for supporting me on my Twitter, JD. I appreciate that, my friend. I really, really do. Tyree says the lithium been holding up. PILBF has been a good stock. Lithium, uranium, energy, three industries that are on the rise right now. All right. Salt Shaker says 1, but improving. Natasha, get the book Trading for a Living by Dr. Elder. That's a great book. That talks about the psychology of trading, though, Hamid. That really does. That's on Facebook. That talks about the psychology of trading. So it's one of the best books I've read, though. It really is one of the best books I've read. All right. So those are my stories. All right. And I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to get into the software. And let's go start talking about market timing. When it comes time to thinking that trying times How do you get to the point of trying times? You get to the point of trying times based upon what's going on in the market. Currently, the market rose, found a high. Our levels of the MTI let us know that the market was looking for a top. For those of you who are subscribers, I think that we pinpointed that top right on point. The MTI was at 1.68. The market started to turn over. And I mean, we were right on point getting you guys out very close to a market top. The 3 and the 8 crossed on the market 3 days after the market top, which gave you a second inclination of knowing when to get out. And then the stock just started to go down in a downtrend. From that level, we bounced off a level of support. And what indicator we're looking at right now, for those of you who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, what you're looking at is something called the VVC, the VectorVest Composite, and it looks at the movement of over 9,000 stocks, all right? So this is what we're tracking on this graph, is the movement of over 9,000 stocks. How many of you remember me saying on more than one occasion that this uptrend was going to be short-lived? Type a 1 in the room. I want to see how many people are who pay attention when I talk. All right. How many of you remembered me saying, type a 1 in the room, how many of you remember me saying that this was going to be short-lived? Now, it wasn't something that I guessed at. It wasn't something that I just made up off the top of my head and said I'm going to run with it. When the market fell, this is the potential bottom of the market falling from this high. Notice our indicator, the MTI. When the MTI, or market timing indicator, which is cast on a scale between 0 and 2, when it falls down to a level of 0.6 or below, the market is looking for a major bottom. Look at this fall. Look at this potential bottom after it rose. What's the level? 0.64. We almost got there, but not quite. As you can see right here, here's that level of 0.60. We never fell below that level. So let me back this up a little bit for you. See where the market falls here? And here's this level of the low, or the level of a bottom off of this pullback right here. What's the level of our MTI? 0.38. What did the market do after that? Look at that nice run up. Consolidation, nice run up there. All right, let's go find this another time. Market fell, got to a level of a low, or a level of a bottom right here on 511. MTI, 0.36. Not as rambunctious as this move up. Look at what happened. Market had an opportunity, it ran. Fell, found the level of a low. MTI let us know that the market was looking for a bottom. Nice run up. This pullback right here never got below that level. Never got below that level. And I said that I didn't think that was going to be long term, and boom, it was not. I'm going to put this back on a 3-month graph. Okay? Put this back on a 3-month graph. Where are we right now? So when I talk about trying times, I'm thinking that right now, many of you are looking at this as trying times. Well, coming off of this high, we're still in a downtrend, all right? Freehand line, coming off of this high, look at that. Boom. We're still in a downtrend, all right? If you're still holding stocks long, you got to say to yourself, why? All right, now, don't get me wrong. As we go through this process right now that I'm going to take you through, I'm not here to berate you. I'm not here to question why you are holding. It sounded like right there that I was questioning you. But I am going to let you know that there's things for you to look for to ask yourself the question whether or not you should be holding stocks, or which stocks you should be holding. All right. So even though we had this rebound, we did break out of the downtrend, but very quickly came back down into that below that downtrend. All right. Trying times. What's going on in the market, and is it conducive to you holding stocks long term? So in the Jockey Club this morning, I said I wanted you to bring your losing trades to today's presentation. Tell you what we're going to do. You guys always ask me a lot of times to look at your stocks anyway. Today we're going to do that, but we're going to take a little deeper look into the positions that you may have lost money on. Hold on, no, Mark. Hold on, not yet. What I need not only the ticker symbol, I need the ticker symbol and the date you got in. Type those into the room. I need for your problem stocks, I need the ticker symbol. All right. I need a ticker symbol and the date you got in. All right. So Tesla calls, hedge, day trade. No. UUP 914. Okay. UUP 914. Thank you, Styles. Come on, give me your stocks. This is going to be a great exercise for many of you in the room. This is really going to be, especially when it comes down to folks that get disgruntled when they get into the market and they start losing money. ASML 818. All right. Looking for XROF. Oh, Lord. That's going to be a whole nother thing. XROF 415. 21. All right. Tesla 829. Tesla 829. UUP up. I would have went with the down one. FTNT 55. FTNT 55. No J. FNGD 99. FNGD 99. TLT 914. TLT 914. Yeti 425. Yeti 425. Jack 912. JAKK 912. AMD 91. AMD 91. Apple 912. Apple 912. FSM 912. FSM 912. Apple. I already got an Apple up there, Edward. SIVB 810. SIVB 810. SIGA. SIGA 819. I'm only going to take one of your trades. Explain how unemployment is down when every state signs posters asking for help. Dr. C, let me tell you why that is. Because a lot of the jobs that are being asked for are jobs that people don't want to take, or they're not paying enough money. All right, Dr. C, that's the answer to that question. Walmart, Lowe's, where are the other people working? A lot of people still ain't working. All right, that's an issue. All right, and unemployment is down. Unemployment is down because the people who are working, but there's a lot of jobs out there still looking for people, and it's primarily in the service space, whether it's restaurants or a lot of other different things. That's the answer to that question for you. All right, that's the answer to that question. Palantir 99. Ooh, I'm with that. Palantir 99 and CPRX 98. All right, let's take a look at those first. Let's take a look. So I'm going to build this watch list. Let's say that we as a group bought these stocks, and these are the stocks that are in our portfolios.
Clear that check.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thank you. You said UUP. I wouldn't have been playing UUP, but I'll explain that in a second. I wouldn't have been playing UUP. I would have just played the other one. I forget the ticker symbol. ASML, XROF, TSLA, FTMT, FNGD, TLT. That's the treasuries, right? Yeti, Jack, AMD, AAPL, FSM, SIVB, SIGA, PLTR, and CPRX. All right, so here's your stocks. Now, some of the stocks, I know I didn't put everybody's stocks in here, and that's fine. I didn't put everybody's stocks in here, but you know something? We got 16 stocks. All right, hold off on the stocks. We got six. And you know something? Thank you all for bringing these stocks to the forefront. All right? First thing, if I'm looking at this and this is my portfolio, in trying times, VectorVest assigns a buy, sell, or hold recommendations on every stock in our database. So let me ask the question, for any of you who are still holding these stocks, should you? Yes or no? Now, I know that there's going to be a different answer, and I'm going to explain that in a second. Should you, yes or no? For everybody who gave me these stocks, do you honestly think you should be holding them, yes or no? Just type it in the room. All right. Now, there's stocks in here that I like. I like Palantir. But why am I not? Michael says it depends. Now, let me tell you about the depends part. Palantir, I think, has got great potential. But do you want to hold a stock that's got potential? Or do you want to play a stock that's making you money? That's a question that everybody in this room has to answer. Do you want to play a stock that's got potential or play a stock that's making money? That's the same thing with XROF. I think that somewhere down the line that XROF is going to be a tremendous company that's going to be trading exponentially higher based upon the technology. That's right, Mark. It's got great upside. But now let me ask the question. If I'm looking at XROF, is the company making money? Is the company growing its earnings? Now, these are the tough questions. Now, the other side of that, Mark, is, well, I'm going to hold on to it because it's got the potential. Well, if that's the case and the stock is going down, you're expecting that because the potential is not here yet. It's future potential, not now. And if the purpose of your portfolio is to grow exponentially or grow, this is a stock that's hurting you. Now, Mark, I own XROF, but I own XROF with money that I don't have to depend on. So because of that, I can afford to hold that stock long term because of its potential. Does everybody in the room agree with that? 1 for yes, 2 for no. In regards to a stock like XROF or Palantir that have the upside, if I've got this in money that I don't have to depend on, it's okay to hold these stocks. Now, I'm going to say that about every single one of the stocks that you've got in here that have a sell recommend, because somebody said in the room, it depends. Right. It does depend. Because if I know the potential of both of these stocks, of which I like tremendously because of the potential, then I'm okay to hold it. Now, Ralph says, oh, so you ignore this VectorVest sell recommendation. So Ralph, are you listening to what I'm saying? From a technical standpoint, because they're sell recommendations, I'm going to tell the majority of you in this room, you shouldn't be holding them. But the people who are holding because of the potential in the stock, and they don't want to get rid of it yet. But if that's the case, I wouldn't be doing that with money that I depend on. Does that make sense, Ralph? Oh, no. I'm never going to tell anybody in this room to ignore the sell recommendations, because my next statement is, if these are the stocks that you hold in your portfolio and their sell recommendations, the first thing I'm going to say, Ralph, get them out of here because they're hurting your portfolio. So that's what I'm going to say, Ralph. No, the whole purpose of me putting these into this list like this was so that you could visually see which stocks are hurting your portfolio. So, Ralph, these sell recommendations are hurting my portfolio. There should be a couple of speculative stocks in the portfolio. Well, I got more than just a couple of speculative stocks in here. All right, there's more than a couple of speculative stocks in here. Yes, you probably are just nimbling, right? Not fully. Oh, so now another thing, my XROF trade is not a major portion of my portfolio either. It's a much smaller portion of my portfolio. For those of you who are new to investing, if you look at 100% of your assets, I'm going to tell you that you need to divvy them up this way. No matter what your portfolio size is, 80% of your total assets should be in your long-term retirement. Okay, have a good day, Jay. 80% of your portfolio should be in your long-term retirement. 15% could be in those swing trades where you're getting in and out between a couple of days and a couple of weeks. 5% of your total assets should be in the speculative play. Does everybody understand that? Type of 1, if that makes sense to you. Type of 2, if that does not make sense to you. Type a 1, if that makes sense to you. Type a 2. Actually, type a 2 if you don't agree with that. Type a 2 if you don't agree with that. All right? No matter how big your portfolio is, folks, that division, that way of what's the word I'm looking for when you start divvying out your money? What's that called? Diversification. Excuse me. That diversification should play a role in everybody's portfolio. Michael, 80% of your total assets in the market should be in your longer term retirement. 15% of your portfolio can be in your little bit more of a swing trade where I'm holding stocks for a couple of days to a couple of weeks and flipping that. No more than 5% of your portfolio should be in speculative trades. All right? So that's the way I go. Since joining VectorVest first thing in the AM, I go to my watch list to see what to sell. All stocks I have sold was before VectorVest. There you go. You must consider your age also. I agree with that. Even with that, Martin, I'm still going to say that even if you're young, 80% of your portfolio, I still think, that's my opinion, 80% of your portfolio should still be in your long-term plays. All right, especially if they pay dividends and that kind of stuff. I would be that. I would still think that way. Mark says, since we self-direct and are here every day, we can modify those percentages. Absolutely. I'm just giving a basis, a foundation of how you should diversify the majority of 100% of your money. That's just everybody can change based upon how they invest in the money. I'm retired and I pay my bills and save, so it's all fun money. Way to go, Bill. Absolutely. All right. So the first thing, if this is your portfolio, the first thing is take a look at the stocks that are sell recommendations. They're not doing what you want them to do. You probably want to sell them and probably wait for better buying opportunities, especially if you like them long term, or if this is money that's not affecting your, a major part of your portfolio. I can understand why you hold. My X-Roth trade is part of that money that I can afford to lose, God forbid. All right. But the instructors like Jim advocate put in your portfolios with Genius, on which refresh periodically, not long-term, as you mentioned, on the 80%. And again, everybody's different. I'm giving based upon how I invest in the market and how I've been teaching here for 18 years, how I learned from Dr. DeLito. And Jim's job is a little, from a retirement perspective, he does a lot of different creative things from a retirement perspective that a lot of people in this room won't do, Edward, especially when it comes down to options. All right, think about it. It's a little different. If I'm talking to a room of people that don't know anything about options, what the information that I gave was ideally suited for them. Jim is a little different because he does play options. He does look at the passive income of dividends. So for that, there it is. Natasha says, my question is, if the market crash will get the money back in my stocks if I just forget about the stock and hold them long term, like I was told to do when I inherited them a few years ago. So a lot of the stocks that you probably have, generational stocks, what's the word? That's the other word I want to look at for that. Not generational stocks, but it starts with an L. Somebody help me here too. Legacy stocks. All right. So if you've got GE at such a low price from somebody in your family, I'm going to tell you, you never sell that no matter what happens. All right. Those are legacy stocks. That's a little different, Natasha. So, depending on what those stocks are, if you were told not to sell them and they're up hundreds of percent from when you bought them, I'm with that 110%. I wouldn't sell those stocks either. All right. I'm not sure I look at Microsoft, Tesla, and Amazon as legacy stocks unless you got them and you're up hundreds of % on them. Not unless you're up hundreds of % on them. I'm not looking at those as legacy stocks. All right. But again, I can't tell you how to invest your money, Natasha. I'm just giving you, when I look at stocks like that, I don't call those legacy stocks. Not yet. I don't think, not yet. But if you have a GE or you have a Ford or you have a Coca-Cola, those are legacy stocks that have been around a long time. That if you got any shares of those, I wouldn't sell any shares of those. Do you have any mutual funds for your long-term retirement plan, not individual stocks? In my 401k, I do. But a lot of my 401k, I'm self-directing. All right? Here's hoping that Exro becomes a legacy. Yeah, it's becoming a legacy, not a good one. All right. So let's go look at AMD. AMD, and the date I have for AMD was 9/1. Let's go look at the stock, because that's going to be another thing, is looking at the graph of the stock. Let's say you own this, put this on the 6-month graph. Let's say you own it. Wow, that's a trouble stock right now, right? Let's go find 9/1. 9/1. And this is another thing about having those trouble kid stocks, right? Look at 9/1. Now I got to ask the question, for the person that bought AMD on 9/1, you got to ask yourself why. Because now, instead of being in a situation where you're pulling back on the stock and going, oh my gosh, I'm just losing money, what do I do? What was the stock like when you bought it? What was the stock like when you bought it? Of the 3 was below the 8, the stock was in a downtrend. Now, going forward, before you pull the trigger on a stock like this, the first thing you got to ask is it the right time to buy the stock? Does that make sense? I don't know who gave me AMD, but does that make sense? You bought it while the stock was in a downtrend. You know what that's called? Catching a falling knife. You don't want to do that. The stock went from a buy to a hold, and after you bought it, it went to a sell. Woo. All right, so fine. Let's say you got it. You're in it. Do I buy AMD at this level? What tells me that it's okay to buy this at this level? Police SWAT. And a lot of people do this. And this is how they become trouble stocks. A lot of people sit here and go, man, it's low now. I know long-term it's going to be good. Okay, I can go for that. What tells you right now is the right time to buy it, Police SWAT? So let me answer that question. Nothing. So if I like the stock as it's coming down and I'm looking for an opportunity to buy, what do I look for? First thing I look for is what? Looking at the graph. All right, looking at the graph. What's the first thing I'm looking for? Anybody who knows me in this room knows what the first thing I'm looking for. What's the first thing I'm looking for, everybody? Somebody in this room say it. Looking at this end of day graph, what is the first thing I'm looking for before I think about buying it? Anybody? Anybody? No, I'm not. It's got, there you go. Thank you, Salt Shaker. I'm looking for the 3-8 cross. Why? See the last time the stock did that? What happened when the 3-8 cross? Whoa. And then when the 3-8 crossed down, whoa. I'm waiting for at least the 3-8, and I'm with you, Jason. I need market direction on my side. I need market direction on my side. I need to make sure that the market is showing me that it wants to move up. And then secondly, I'm looking at the individual stock, looking for an opportunity to buy. Now, a lot of people sit back and say this. Oh, this is a great time to buy it. I'm going to buy it now. What says that it's okay to buy it now? Just because it's low? Wait for something to give you the opportunity to buy the stock back if you're not in it. Does that make sense to everybody in the room? Type of 1 if that makes sense. Type of 2 if you think I'm off base. Type of 1 in the room if that makes sense. Type of 2 if you think I'm off base in what I just said. Because everybody out there has done it or is currently doing it right now when you see the stock fall and you say it's time to go buy it now. What tells you it's okay to buy it now? Not a darn thing. Why try to outguess the market? Let the market come to you and let the stock tell you it's okay to buy it. It ain't time. All right, fine. Let's get off of that stock. because we all do this all the time, and I want to take that off of your table so that you don't have the trouble stocks. Let's look at XROF. XROF was bought on 4/15/2021. Well, let's go look at it. 4/15/2021. Let's go put this on a 1 year. Listen, 4/15/2021. May, April, let's go find it. Put the date line, 4/15/2021. It's 5/4/423. Where's my stuff? Gosh, I can't see. 4/15/2021. Why did you buy it? Most likely you bought it because you know what's going on with XRO. And you bought it on what? The news. So now we just talked about buying a stock with the buying on the falling knife. This is another one you just buy on the news. 4/15. What did the stock do after you got out of it? Well, you bought into it while the 4 was below, while the 3 was below the 8. Where's 4/15? You bought into it while the 3 was below the 8. Okay? The stock, 3/8 cross. Maybe you made a little bit of money. You got, all right, I got in here. I'm going to make it all back. Woo, look at that. I'm ahead of the game. Then I get a candlestick pattern known as a bearish harami. And then I get follow through. Was that enough to get you out of that little stock right there from the technicals? You're not talking about the news anymore. Let's just talk about it from the technicals. The technicals got you out the stock. No, I'm going to keep on holding it because I know the potential. All right. You wrote it down even further than when you first bought it. The 3/8 crosses, you're like, this is the next time. It's going to go up and we're going to go make some money. All right. There's the 3/8. Let's go take a look. All right. You still never got back to the time that you bought it here at 4/15. And then time and time again, I can show you that this stock just hasn't performed yet. I'm with you in regards that I think that this stock has got a whole lot of great potential. But if I'm trying to hold it as a stock to make money in my portfolio, it's scaring the hell out of me. And I own it. I own it. So I'm sitting in the same hot seat. But again, it's a stock and the money that I can afford to lose if this goes bust. So there's the story on XROF. And as I look at it all the way from that time, the stock is just getting killed. I still think and believe in it long term. I'm still believing this long term, but it ain't there yet. All right, let's go back to my list. Oh, how many of you feel that this makes sense, that going through this process is at least turning on some lights and it makes sense? Type of 1 in the room. If you think I'm just bloviating, type of 2. How many of you feel that this process at least makes sense? At least makes sense. And again, if you think I'm just yapping my trap, type of 2 in the room. I told you we were going to do Trending Thursday a little different today because I think that this, Bill says I'm bloviating. You're the only one in the room, Bill, the only one that said I was bloviating. It's all right. And I'm not even going to say haters going to hate. I'm not going to say that because you're entitled to your opinion. All right? You're entitled to your opinion. All right. Let's go look at one of the stocks that's a hold recommendation. Let's go look at FNGD. All right. That's an ETF, and that's a contra ETF. One, we need to hear it over and over again until we learn it, says Raphael. I hear you. Let's go look at a contra ETF. Let's right-click. FNGD was bought when? 9/19. Let's right-click. Let's view the stock graph. 9/19. I put this on a 3-month graph. 9/19. Let's go find it. All right. 9/2. 9/19. Oh, wait a minute. 9/19 we ain't got 9/19 yet. Wait a minute. All right, let's go take this a year back to October. It's got to be 9/19 of 2020. It's got to be because we ain't up to 9/19 yet. 9/19, 9/24, 9/19, 17. You gave me the wrong date. Anyway, let's say it was back in 2021. The 3 was above the 8. All right. 3 was above the 8. How about the 3 went below the 8 for a couple of days? Even if you didn't get out of it for a couple of days, it went back up. You should have still been able to make money on that. Another thing, on the day that you bought it, I got a little bit of a shooting star pattern with sort of kind of follow through. Big gap. That must have either been earnings or news that came out on that. Stock went up as high. Let's see, on that date, the closing price was $51.40. On the day of the high, it went up to a price of $55.80. What's that called right there? A bearish harami. What did we get the next day? Follow through. Along with that, the 3.8. Boom. That should have been a good opportunity to get out of the stock. 10.4, buy recommendation. I got a buy recommendation, but you know something? On 10.4, looking at the next day, all right, 10.11, it went from a buy back to a hold, bearish candlestick pattern. And then on the 13th, 10.6, I got follow through, even though it was still a hold recommendation. Does that make sense, Ralph? That was a good opportunity to close out. Not only did I get the confirmation of the bearish candlestick formation, but the 3.8 cross. That's a good opportunity to take that. Oh, so hold on a hold recommendation? On a hold recommendation, what is that? So what you're looking for, Ralph, is just because it says a sell or a buy or... Listen, that just goes to show the status of the stock. If the candlestick pattern is showing me a bearish candlestick pattern with follow through while it's a hold, I can get out of the stock. Does that make sense, Ralph? 3.8 is a simple moving average? No, the 3.8 is an exponential moving average. It's in between a simple and a weighted. I think it's a perfect combination, or right in the middle of the two, between a simple and a weighted, using the exponential. All right, and then coming back from there, looking at the stock, it pulled back. Let me go look at this. It ran some more, but you know something? I could have still taken advantage of here when the 3.8 cross. Woo! Look at that. And gotten out here. That was a good little profit. Bounced 3.8 cross, gotten out here. I got a good little profit. Folks, I love looking at the 3.8 exponential moving averages for the purposes of getting you in and out of stocks. Let's go look at a buy recommendation. So 3 of the stocks that you gave me are buy recommendations. Let's go look at Tesla. All right. One other thing that you can do with a company like VectorVest, or with a software like VectorVest. Watch this. You see that XROF sell recommendation? How about we look at the industry? Right from this list, I can look at the overall industry to give me a sense of what's going on. When it dipped below the 3 and the 8, it was weakness sign. Absolutely. Along with the candlestick patterns, JD. All right, watch this. If I right click on the stock, I can go look at an industry graph. So we know that XROF is going down. What's the industry doing? It's popping up, hopefully. This is another cool piece. Ooh, put it on a 3-month graph. What's the industry doing? Put it on a 6-month graph. What's the industry doing? So before you pull the trigger on a stock, even if you don't look at the 3 and the 8, look at the industry. What's the industry doing? The industry has been falling. I still like the potential behind XROF, but maybe this was a better time to get into XROF because the industry could have pushed it higher. Why? Because a rising tide floats all boats. Zoom out to when that person got into the industry. So when was that? This was on XROF. XROF was 4/15/2021. 4/15/2021. Where's 2021? 4/15 of 2021. What was the industry doing? Industry was going up and down. A lot of volatility in the industry. If the industry is volatile, what do you think the stock's going to do? Ooh, how about that? Industry back and forth. So the stock is within the industry. The stock should move the industry higher. But if the industry is back and forth, what do you think the stock's going to do? Good call, Energy. All right. Now, I know you all gave me, I can't look at all of these. Oh, so now I'm going to be selfish. Let's go look at Apple. Let's go look at Apple. First off, let's right click. Let's go look at the industry graph on Apple. All right. What was the date on Apple? 9/12. You just bought it recently. Put this on a 1 month graph. Put this on a 1 month graph. Let's look at 9/12. 9/12. Where's 9/12? Let's go find it. Of course you would buy it right at a resistance before it started going down. Sigh. How many of you have done that? Type of 1 in the room. How many of type of 2 if you've never done that? How many of you have bought right at the top of a stock's move? Type of 1 in the room. Type of 1. I should see a 1 flood the chat. I should see a 1 flood the chat. Eton says you've never done that, Eton? Not that I'm questioning you, because I ain't. If you tell me no, then I'm gonna believe you. If you tell me no, Eton, I'm gonna believe you. We're gonna see that in the second, Ralph. I just wanted to see. We've done it time and time again. How about Apple went right to a level of resistance? Now, guess what? Let's say you bought it, and you say, all right, next day, what happened? Not only did it gap down, the 3/8 cross on big volume. That could have been a sign to say, oh, crap, maybe I made a bad decision. The next day, it rebounds. Not really. The 3/8 is still below. So you're still in it. You go, oh, man, what did I do? I got a saving grace for you, though. Since that time, I've got an established level of support sitting at 42.67 on the industry. On the industry. All right. So that's the industry. Let's go look at the individual stock. Going back to, what was the date? 9/12. Let's view the stock graph. Let's go back to 9/12. Put it on a 1 month. Let's go see what the stock looks like. So that was what the industry looked like. Let's go look at, I bet you the same thing. I bet you that's still 9/12. And it is. Now, the cool thing about what's going on right now is it's right at a level of resistance of 152.56. We're not that far from it. So let's say you bought it at a high before it came back down. That's your positive sign right there to say, I might want to get out of the stock and wait for a better buying opportunity. Does that make sense? That I would rather to get out and not take this kind of a move to the downside. Why not get out at that level of support? Does that make sense? Type of 1 in the room. And it was a buy. I see it. I see it. All right. It was a buy after becoming a hold. But very quickly, because of the move of the stock, it went from a buy to a hold. And I'm right at support right now. Did I say resistance? I'm right at support right now. If it closes below that level of support, that might be a good opportunity to get out because you don't know how low you can go. How low is low until it stops. And would I rather get out and then buy back in? Absolutely, because I don't know how low it can go. All right. How much time I got left? Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Let's go back to Palantir. I like because they keep getting all of the contracts. Let's go look at something. Are they making money? They are positive. They are making money. I like Palantir. I just don't think that the stock is ready to run. It's way overvalued. It's way overvalued. If you don't know the support and resistance before you buy, you didn't do the correct D&D. Absolutely, JD. I'm with you on that. That's why you always should do your homework before you pull trigger on a stock. What is the difference between an industry and a sector? Which one gives you better results? So understand that there's a lot less sectors. There's several industries in one sector. All right. So I like the diversification of looking at an industry. It's going to give me more spreaded out information. Whereas in a sector, I can look at a sector, but there could be 6 or 7 industries in a sector. I'd rather look at an industry. Does that make sense, Edward? I would rather wait and look at an industry than a sector. All right. You didn't win. Mark said he won a mug. You didn't win no mug. All right. Let's do one more stock. Let's do one more stock. I'm going to let's go look at another cell. Yeti is a very popular name. All right. Yeti was bought on 425. All right. First off, let's go look at the industry graph. Let's go look at the industry graph. And notice, first off, it's a sell. All right. It's a sell. Let's go back to 425. All right. Come on up. 425. Put this on a 3-month graph. Put this on more than that. Put this on a 6-month graph. 425. Let's look at the industry. Go to the date line. 425. What was the industry? Industry was in a downtrend. Nice up day on 425. The stocks in the industry were moving up, but overall the industry was in a downtrend. All right, that's number one. That's actually number two because the stock is a sell. All right, let's go look at the stock graph. Let's go look at the individual stock graph. Put that on a 6-month graph. Let's go look at 425. Man, the stock looked like it was probably 425. Look at that. Look at the stock, folks. On that day, nice up day. I like the candle. Nice up day. Oh, that's another thing. You can buy on a candle, on a good up candle, but if you're going to try to hold the stock longer, look at the graph. Look at an end of day graph from the stock before you go buy into it. Unless you're going to day trade this, big up day, nice day to day trade. But if I look at long term, I'm not feeling that. Not yet. Now here, it went up. You could have bought on that day going, yeah. All right, the stock went from a sell to a hold. Nice up day. Woo! Happened the next day. You go, darn. I might have made a mistake. Let me get some more confirmation. You got more confirmation that day. I'd rather you have gotten out then than to ride it all the way down to here. Does that make sense on Yeti? Folks, yes or no? This one is a yes or a no. Type a yes or a no. Would that have saved your bacon than trying to hold it all the way through to now? Type a yes or a no. Folks, this ain't me talking. A picture is worth 1,000 words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. On the day that you bought it, it was a good up day. What was the day that you bought it? Right here? 420. That was a great up day. But if you're going to try to hold the stock long term, look at an end of day graph before you place the trade. Now, if you were day trading it on that day, you made some money, you got out, beautiful. But a lot of these stocks that you're looking at to buy are stocks that you're trying to hold long term. If you're going to try to hold the stock long term, you always got to look at an end of day graph. You always got to look at an end of day graph because that's going to determine whether or not it's a good update that day, whether you're going to day trade it or if you're going to try to hold it, is it worth you holding it longer term? All right. That's all the stocks I'm going to look at today. I know I took a lot of them, but I wanted to see how this would go over. This could be something that we do a little bit more often if that's something you'd like to do. And just a keynote, you do not have a short a stock in order to hitch. I bought Tesla call, which turned against me, and I bought a SPY put, which in turn protected my nothing more. But again, JD, people have to have an understanding of how to play options. That's what it comes down. They got to have they got to have an idea of play options. How many of you would like to see more of this, especially if it's looking at stocks that you're having a problem with? Type of one in the room. How many of you would like to see more of this, because you want to take a look and go, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? I want to hear, how about a one if you would like to see this more often? You know, an idea of giving you some understanding on what happened with the trade so that you don't get caught in the same situation again. SIGA, let's go take a look. You wanted me to look at SIGA. I'll do that real quick. Real quick, let's go view the industry graph. SIGA was bought on 8/19. 8/19. Let's go look at the industry. We'll do that real quick. Sorry, my computer's moving a little bit slow. It's all Joey's fault. 8/19. Let's go find 8/19. Man, I hope going forward, if you guys don't have VectorVest, I hope whatever the tool you have gives you this kind of information. 8/19. There's the industry. There's the industry. Now, bet you anything, because it's in drug biomedical, I bet you anything you bought SIGA on news. Be careful buying on news. All right? Be careful buying on news, because news will only hold you for a day or so, unless whatever it is really super good. 819. So this was most likely a news buy, some news on the stock, blah, 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 blah. 819. Even on that day, look at that. Where's the 3 and the 8 end of day? Stock was a buy, but where was it coming off of? A high. Next day, confirmation, the 3 went below the 8. How would you find the worst industry? You want to find the worst industry? And then ever since then, for whoever's got SIGA, there's no reason why you should have been holding all through this. Now, guess what? It went through the most recent level of support. I don't think this is a stock you still want to hold, but you got to make your decision. How do you find the worst industry? Go to the viewers tab. Go to the industry viewer. You want to find the worst industry in here? Ralph says, I use HGSI software with VPA analysis. Does it give you this kind of analysis that I'm showing you right now, Ralph? And if it is, then use it. If it's giving you the kind of analysis that I'm giving you right now, then use it. Then I'm not telling you anything new. Go for it. As long as you got the best kind of information that I'm giving to you right now, then use it. I don't know anything about that software, but use it. All right. Retail consumer electronics is the worst industry in here. There you go, Bill. That's the worst industry we have in the software right now. All right. Joey, put me on, put me on my end page. Folks, that was a little bit of an interesting way of utilizing the power of the VectorVest software. Occidental Petroleum is on news, Natasha. That is strictly Warren Buffett buying into it. That's also news. Stephanie says the 20-day M&A is a good indicator. Yep. So everything that I use was things that I specifically use to help you guys. That doesn't mean that it's etched in stone. You can reutilize any of this stuff the way that you want to. Whether you change the moving averages, whatever you do, you can do. I just gave you a basis of what to look for so that you don't let those problem stocks become big problems, because that's how you hurt your portfolio. All right, how many likes did we get? 71? Maybe it wasn't worth it. Maybe it wasn't worth 100 likes today. I wanted to do something different. Why? Because the news is the news, and the news is just all about inflation is bad. I wanted to get down in the trenches with you guys. I wanted to get down in the trenches with you guys, because this is the stuff that you go through. All right, this is the stuff that you go through, and I wanted to address that, not just bypass it. This channel is supposed to be for you guys. So if this is the stuff that you're going through and you want to get a better understanding on how to not go through it again, I wanted to take an opportunity to talk about it. All right. Everybody, thank you for the great words. I appreciate that. It was strictly all about you guys today. And I go a little deeper into this scenario for tomorrow's video. All right, tomorrow's video. And then actually put me back in the software, Joey, because if you really want to know more of a controlled way, absolutely controlled way to do better, go to www.vectorvest.com/masterclass. Folks, we have a masterclass coming up on September 30th, 2022. What I did was strictly just the very, very tip of the iceberg on a breakthrough technique that gives ordinary investors a massive edge over Wall Street. If you guys are really willing and ready to take your investing to the next level, go to www.vectorvest.com/masterclass. Joey put the link in there. This could really be a life-changing event. It is a masterclass. We've got keynote speakers. I thought I was hosting, but I'm not. But I will be giving a talk in regards to all of this. Here's going to be Dr. DeLito's got a presentation up there. It's a recorded presentation, but it will be up there. Folks, you need to go. It's free. Energy asks, how much is it? It's free. Absolutely free for a day. You're going to get opportunity to really transform how you invest in the market. All right. Now you can put me on the end. Or yeah, put me on the end. All right. So www.vectorvest.com/masterclass. Joey put the link in there for you guys. So thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for listening to me bloviate. But folks, what I just went through can start to take your management of your portfolio to a different level and understanding what you're getting into before you're getting into it. Not because a friend told you, not because somebody on TV told you, not because the news, but look at what you need to look at before you pull the trigger into this. All you need is VectorVest and unusual whales. Thank me later, says JD. Listen, I like unusual whales. There's a way that I can make my own unusual whales with our Options Pro. With our Options Pro, I can do the same thing. So we are headed lower, Glenn, in my opinion, says Fernando. I'm with you. I agree that we are headed lower. All right. And today, instead of talking about that over and over, that we're going to fall lower, I wanted to take a different take on Trending Thursday. And that's what I did today. All right. We got 87 likes. It is what it is. All right. Getting ready to go. Thank you guys for being here, supporting our channel. Hopefully some of you shared it. If you haven't, even after it's on the channel, share it after it's recorded. Share it. You guys really got to put this out to people that you know. That's the only way we're going to get this to grow, because you're already here. Let's get other people here. With that, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.